Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie of Crossroads Church in Clifton, New Jersey, and I'm starting this weekly series of videos to help you and I to reorient our lives after COVID-19. It's important to start thinking about this now, even though the crisis is not over. We start hearing now about reopening the country, reopening business, as if we can just go on with things and pick up where things left off. But in places like New Jersey and New York, where I am located, there's been a huge disruption in life. And it's not just a matter of getting things back economically or getting things back into our old routine. There has been serious emotional and spiritual damage to those who have gone through this. I believe there'll be a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder in people, a lot of depression in people. So we want to evaluate ourselves and prepare ourselves for that situation. It's as if we've gone through a war zone. And just if you read the news, it is like a war zone. And that will naturally and normally affect us emotionally. So I'm going to spend about 8 weeks on different tips, different teachings from the Bible and from counseling teachers about what you can do to prepare yourself and to start reorienting and getting yourself back on track. But not just economically, not just in other ways, but so you are healed, you're a whole person, healed emotionally and spiritually by the time you're ready to go back. So today is an introduction, and the first thing we have to do is face our losses. Take an inventory. What is it that we lost? We've all lost different things, many different things. Some people have had the extreme loss of a loved one, and they're suffering the grief of that. Some have lost a job. Some have lost maybe a plan or a goal that they had for their life that now is just not going to come to pass. Some may have just been graduating from college, looking forward to a robust economic situation, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So you've lost your future hopes, or going into college, or graduating. You've lost those things, or you planned a wedding, or you planned something, that those things are now totally impacted. And I'm only touching on a few. I know for myself, I've lost a few very good friends, members of the church, people that I love very dearly. My routine has been shaken up. The way I do things has changed dramatically. And I find myself at times depressed, times anxious, at times worrying, at other times full of great excitement. It's like a roller coaster. And just hearing of all the people dying around us just kind of builds up and builds up. So I want to help you as best I can to prepare for this and to look ahead to what we're going to do. One tip, this is just a little tip I can give you, is to remember, however you feel today, you will not always feel that way. That's something that helps me all the time. Maybe I'm having a rough day. I'm feeling emotional. I've just heard of somebody having the coronavirus. I heard that news today. I was very emotionally moved. They were fairly sick, and but I have to remind myself, I'm not always going to feel the way I feel today. God, with his help and with my work, will bring us to a place of healing. So whatever your loss is, the goal is going to be to reorient, to process the loss in a healthy way so it does not hinder you in the future, and to spiritually deal with whatever has happened to you. So the key is to assess what you have lost. And a useful exercise that many people recommend is just take a blank piece of paper and just write out the things that you have lost. Simple things, could be more complex things. What types of things have you lost? For some, this will be a very difficult exercise. I mean, when you lose something, like you lose your job, it's not just losing the job, it's losing maybe the goal I had, the plan I had. Now maybe I have to re-educate myself or so. So try to get to the different layers and write them out about what you have lost. You may also want to find a partner, someone who's going to watch these videos together with you, and then you can call them and go over your lists together. If the losses are very extreme and you need more professional type of counseling, I would encourage you to get that, to process through that. But we want to assess what we've lost. That's where we start. What have I lost? If I were making my list, I would put on that the names of some friends of mine. I would put the total change in my routine, change in various plans for things I was planning to do in my job, in my ministry that I'm not was not able to do. So there are many different things that you can put down. So assess what you have lost by this COVID-19, and then remember that God is the one who we can talk to. God is the one who we can say, God, this is what I have lost. And I was thinking of the book of Lamentations. A lament is when you pour out your heart about what you have lost to God or to somebody. It's a lamentation, a lament. And there's a book of the Bible with that name, Lamentations. It's right after Jeremiah. And interestingly, in chapter number 1, he makes a list of what has been lost. He says, how deserted the city, once so full of people. I can relate to that when I'm driving around. I said, where are the cars? I was driving down Main Avenue here, and there was no cars, no children going to school. And it gives you an eerie feeling. How deserted lies the city, once so full of people. Bitterly she weeps at night. Tears are on her cheeks. And he goes on, he lists many different things that have happened. So that's the assessment. You're listing what has happened. But so he writes this down. Then in chapter 3, verse 19, he says, I remember, these are all the things that he has been that he has lost. I remember my affliction and wandering, the bitterness and the gall. I remember them, and my soul is downcast within me. So he's saying, this is how it makes me feel. You see, he's come to an assessment. This is what's happened, and this is how I feel. I know it's uncomfortable to do that, but it's the healthy thing to do. And again, if you need professional help to do that, by all means, I could even recommend someone to you if necessary. But then he says this in verse 21, yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for him. You see, there's the idea that God is going to bring a restoration. God is going to bring a reorientation. And so he's hoping in that, he's trusting in that. So even though he's downcast, he's listed all the things that have been lost, and it was a devastating situation. He still has hope because he knows that God is going to bring restoration. And as I close this first session, our first week together, I want to tell you there is hope. The same way that Jeremiah found hope, you can find hope also. God is a God of restoration. God is a God of reorientation. And I hope you'll join me in the next 8 weeks, every Wednesday at about this time, as I post a video. Put any comments that you would like, and that you would take the journey. And so we're identifying what we've lost, but we have hope because we're on the journey of restoration, the journey of starting again in COVID, after COVID-19. So God bless you, and I'd love to have some comments and hear what you have to say. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. So God bless you, and let me know what you think. Take care.